Look, sorry it's been a while.
Where you been, mate?
But let me get the bike for you. Put it in the big dog. Listen to that, by the way. Bloody noisy. So welcome back to the Friday vlog series, which is brought to you by Squarespace. Thank you very much for supporting my work, and what a magnificent view we have here in Noosa Town. Where today, we're going to split the video into my favourite number of parts, being 2. So I've just completed a 350 watt effort up Gindia Drive. We're going to compare the Winspace to the System 6, 350 watts, same lines, same level of water in my bottle, all that kind of stuff in this video. We're going to do a comparison, so stay tuned for that. But part number 1, the 3 bikes. I know it's been a bloody long time, but we finally got there, and in this video I'm going to show you all 3 bikes together, and there has been a little bit of drama. And you guessed it, it's been with the Winspace. I'll give you a little sneak peek now. Let's have a little look at this. As you can see, we've got a bit of white electrical tape in the spokes. I'll explain why that is in there in this video too. And part 2 of this video, as I prepare to take the Winspace on its most daring testing mission yet, the school drop-off. And in part 2, I'm just going to share with you what's been going on behind the scenes, including a massive thank you for your support. We hit 100K recently, so I've got a few... Yeah, I did pump them up. Just stop interrupting me, please. We hit 100K recently on the channel, so a few words at the end just to say thanks. So let's get into it. So yes, it's been quite a while getting these 3 bikes on track, and there's been a ton of drama specifically surrounding the Winspace, of course, which I'll share with you in this video. But the big reason for my absence, or perhaps the biggest drama in my personal life, is my wife actually had an operation on her stomach about 4 weeks ago. Everything is okay, she's fine, but she was sort of out of action for about 3 to 4 weeks, immobile, couldn't really move. So as a result of that, I was pretty much solo dadding it with the kids, which included 2 weeks of school holidays, and then they've been back at school now for almost 3 weeks. So it's been full on, but Alice is good. We're getting back to some normality, which is great. And I know what many of you out there are thinking.
Just tell us about the bloody Winspace, for God's sake.
But can I just say this, so there's clarity, the big delay with this project was the inspection. The proposed inspection that was originally supposed to happen with Raoul Lucia at Lucia Technic, and he could not fit me in until March. So we waited patiently, well, most of us waited patiently until we could book this in for the full inspection. But unfortunately, we got close to March and Raoul indicated that due to some personal circumstances, he was going to have to delay it again. So I quickly made the pivot to Gary at Carbon Steed, who ended up performing the inspection, which included the full paint, which all turned out magnificently. But if it wasn't for that inspection delay, which I'm glad we did because it's turned out to be my most popular video of all time, which you can watch up there. But if we didn't do the inspection, this whole process would have moved much more quickly. And as a result of that, I would have got a lot less grief in the comment section.
It's been a bloody saga, mate. It's called the Winspace saga.
And would you believe this is called Murphy's Law? When you want something to run smoothly, it doesn't. And after getting this thing built, there's been a bit of drama surrounding it, mostly myself to blame, which I'm going to explain for you shortly. But first up, I just wanted to thank today's video sponsor, being Squarespace. If we actually have a look at my wife's website here, which was built just recently, it's on a Squarespace platform, and you can see how clean, simple, yet intuitive it is. And my wife, who's a non-techie, personally loves how easy it is to go into the back end, alter text, layouts, color schemes, etc. without needing any development skills. If you're keen to get a website off the ground, go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Cam Nicholls to save 10%. See all the relevant details below in the video description area. So here is what has happened since the Winspace has been built and I have started to test the machine on the very first ride. I felt a lot of buzz and vibration coming through the front of the bike. Unfortunately, the headset came loose. I took that back to Topline Cycles, who built the bike, and they quickly fixed it. The only consideration was they're about a 2-hour drive from my house, so I convinced the kids to come on an adventure day. We went to the theme parks and I got that sorted out. Once that was sorted out, the next thing that happened was this. I am just on the side of the road, and this, that I almost came off the bike then. That has unwound itself. But it turns out that was 100% my fault. Absolute dickhead move. I didn't have the right tool, one of these old mates, and I was using an Allen key to do it up firmly but not tight enough, and as a result the through axle came loose, and I had it inspected by my local bike shop, Trilogy Cycles, just to make sure it wasn't a fault with the through axle or anything like that. Absolutely wasn't. And since then, I've ridden the bike many a times. That hasn't happened since. And I'm sorry, Gary, I've ripped a nice chunk of paint off the inside of your fork. So after that debacle, what happened next was a creaking sound started to develop from the bike. I thought initially it was the bottom bracket. So there's a token, I believe, bottom bracket that comes with the Winspace. We took that out. We replaced it with the SRAM GPX bottom bracket. Didn't fix the problem. So that is why we now have these little bits of electrical tape in between the spokes, because I believe the sound was coming from the spokes. And after trialing it this morning, out of the gate it creaked, but then for the rest of the ride it didn't. So I think we're onto something here, and I'm going to reach out to Winspace to get their input on whether they've experienced other clients having issues with the spokes rubbing or creaking while riding. But all that aside, as you can probably imagine, this bike behind me here, it's been in and out of bike shops since I've had it, and it would be unfair to provide my first impressions until the thing is running smoothly. And now we're pretty much there. Now the speed test I did this morning on the Winspace, going up a famous hill climb in my local area called Gindia Drive at 350 watt average. I held the same lines, the same everything possible, including the ride conditions, to when I've done this test in the past on other bikes, notably the Cannondale System 6 and the Cannondale Super 6. Now yes, the power meter is different on the bikes and there could be some discrepancies there, but they are or have been all Quark power meters, and I have calibrated them all before the ride. And being a road cycling coach and training to power, I do know what 350 watts feels like. So I felt like it's not going to play a huge role in this test here, and the only possible consideration is my weight probably fluctuates 1 kilo or 2 pounds up or down. So I could be maybe 2 pounds or 1 kilo heavier than when I did the test with the Cannondales. And if we look at my time this morning on the Winspace, going up Gindia Drive, it was 3 minutes and 37 seconds at an average of 24.4 kilometers per hour. And if we compare that to the same test with the System 6 and the Super 6, you can see there's a big difference in times there. And that data there does validate one of the big first impressions that I've had with the Winspace, and that it does feel heavy or a little sluggish when climbing. Now that's not to say there aren't many positives that come with this bike, which I'm going to share with you all next week. The Factor build has been full of drama too. This was supposed to be built some time ago, but the first time I took it to Jay at Taylor Cycles there in Brisbane, which is a fair old drive from my house, there was a snap COVID lockdown when I was halfway down the highway. The second time we ran into a bottom bracket issue, and the third time we got lucky. But this bike is like nothing I've ridden before. The lightness is crazy. It's pretty much 6 kilograms on the dot with a mount, bottle cages, and the Asioma, I hope I've said that right, power pedals, which I'll be doing a full review on later in the channel through the Road Cycling Academy. A lot of the members train with these power pedals and they've been telling me great things, so I wanted to try them out for myself. So that's the Factor. The last one, so the BMC Teammachine, well, you can't run into bad luck everywhere you go, and with the BMC, everything's worked out perfectly so far. The only thing I'm really struggling to get used to are the SRAM hoods. They're like rhino horns. I'm finding it difficult to get comfortable in the front end, but I'll share more with you on that in the first impressions on this bike down the track. So the Winspace first impressions video is coming next week, I promise. Let's move in to part 2 of this video. So what's been going on behind the scenes? Rossi, come get involved, mate. Come on. That's it. Good boy. Yeah, there you go, boy. Going well? How are things? So as mentioned, there's been a little bit of drama surrounding my wife who had an operation about 3 or 4 weeks ago. How are you feeling now, Alice? You want to tell us how you're going? I know you're on the other side of it. Just give me a sec.
Well, today's the first day that I'm moving freely and I've been able to button my jeans up because I've had like basically a drain bag hanging out of my body. Is that too much info?
I don't know. Well, yeah,
Sounds disgusting. I had 4 altogether over the space of a month. It's been a pretty hectic, intense month. I feel good though now. Sorry for, like, you've definitely picked up the load in the last month, haven't you?
That's right though. What goes around comes around, right?
Maybe. I don't know about that.
But look, there's been some positive drama, and that is the channel hit the 100,000 subscriber mark probably about 2 weeks ago now. So I just wanted to thank you a million for that. And look, I know 100,000 is just a number, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's more so validation to me that in 2017, if we go back that far, I actually made the right decision when I left corporate. I was working for American software companies at the time, and if you want my full backstory, you can click on it somewhere up there. But essentially, I was working for American software companies, doing heaps of international travel and selling big software solutions to big companies. But ultimately, I wasn't passionate about it. In 2017, I left corporate to try and get a cycling marketplace off the ground, would you believe? And through that process, we needed to make content for the website, and I started to write content. Then we started to make videos, and this was my wife's camera. It's a Canon DSLR, and I pulled this out, flicked it to video mode, and just started to shoot videos. And we use YouTube as the platform to be able to present videos on the blog site. Just so happens one day that I published this video. It was titled Best Road Bikes Under $3,000 with a Twist. And I remember sitting there about a week after I published that video, and it was live on our blog site. All of a sudden on YouTube, I started to get all these comments under the video, and I couldn't quite understand what was going on. I actually thought some bigger company had picked up the article and sent it out to their email newsletter list or something like that. That's how naive I was. It turns out it was the YouTube algorithm, and that was the first time that I got presented with this opportunity of making videos on a platform and the power of that platform to be able to reach a number of people. And that whole process ended up driving me to 2018, starting this YouTube channel right here, which has now almost been going for 3 years. And via this YouTube channel as well, I've had opportunities such as becoming a road cycling coach and starting the Road Cycling Academy, which has enabled me to witness and support people firsthand improve their road cycling, which is such a great experience to be able to have. And a bit of a plug for the Road Cycling Academy right now. We're open 4 times a year. We welcome on board 50 members at a time. So if you're interested in taking your road cycling to the next level, I'll provide a link below. But ultimately, I just wanted to thank you a million for your support. As mentioned, it means so much. And if I could like your video or like you in any way, like how you like my videos, I just wanted to give you a massive, massive thumbs up. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave you with some scenes of myself and my 2 girls. We were at my grandfather's gravesite. He passed away. Cam Nicholls is his name, in February last year, but we went to his gravesite to pay tribute to his service for Australia in the Australian Navy for Anzac Day, which happened last Sunday here in Australia. I'll catch you in the next video.
Wait a minute.